What's up, cool people? My name's Matt, aka That Random Christian Gamer. Merry Christmas, everybody. And even though it is Christmas Day, and we're doing Bible study, we're not actually going to be looking at the story of Jesus. I would hope a lot of you kind of know the basics, but we could talk more about Jesus after our planned Bible study. I'm just trying to work my way through the Bible, start to finish, and if I'm going to keep on track with that, I got to keep doing what I have planned and not so much, those verses from the New Testament that talk about Jesus. Anyway, man, I just sneezed right before I started this stream, so I'm like, my nose is doing some funky stuff. Anyway, so we are continuing the usual Bible study that we've been doing. Today, we're wrapping up the book of Ezra, which it is not distinctly positive based on the little bit that I looked at, but it's part of the history of God's people, and all these events lead up to Jesus in some way or another. So it's never 100% not about Jesus if it's anywhere in the Bible. But yeah, so that's the big thing to get through, and then I should have about another hour available after that to just hang out, talk about stuff, and I'll be playing Hades in the meantime, just for something to do while, whatever chat and discussion and whatnot is not especially active. But anyway, okay, so that's the plan. Let's go ahead, run the early set of Twitch ads, and then we'll hop into Bible study. See you on the flip side, Twitch folks. Okay. So then, we'll go ahead, get the Bible study window ready to go. Yeah. By the way, next week I'm gonna announce something kind of significant during one of the live streams, but it'll be a New Year's announcement kind of thing. So might as well just go ahead and wait for that. New year, new schedule, that kind of thing. But anyway. So how's everybody doing? I've had a pretty good week. Definitely more relaxed, even at work. Then again, a bunch of people haven't even been there because they took off for holidays and whatnot. I myself will be traveling over the weekend with my family, so that's why I kind of had to stream when I did this week. But yeah, it's all good stuff though. Occasionally you gotta sort of shake things up a little bit. Man. Alright, anyway. Okay. Seems like we're about ready to go, so let's hop into some Bible study here. Okay. So we're looking at Ezra chapter 9 now. All the Second Temple building and stuff is done. And then Ezra and some more of the Jewish exiles went to Jerusalem. Ezra's main goal was to, teach the people of God about the laws, kind of remind them of, the laws from way back in Moses' time that God had established for his people and all that kind of stuff. This is, of course, after the kingdoms had split and then mostly kind of turned away from God and then got conquered by other kingdoms and had been away from Jerusalem for at least a few decades. And they had permission to go back and build this second temple. And anyway, so Ezra is now in Jerusalem, kind of working on teaching the people. And most recently, I think, let me flip back to chapter 8 real quick. So, yeah, they made it there, and I guess there were burnt offerings shortly after Ezra's arrival, and I don't know if it mentioned a specific occasion, but anyway, I figured it's, you know, I figured that's worth noting because of how this chapter starts off. So, I think we'll hop into it. Ezra chapter 9. Here we go. When these things had been done, the Jewish leaders came to me and said, "Many of the people of Israel, and even some of the priests and Levites, have not kept themselves separate from the other peoples living in the land. They have taken up the detestable practices of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, Ammonites, Moabites, Egyptians, and Amorites. For the men of Israel have married women from these people and have taken them as wives for their sons. So the holy race has become polluted by these mixed marriages. Worse yet, the leaders and officials have led the way in this outrage." So the Jews, God's people, were supposed to, like, not intermarry because of, you know, being, I don't know if converted is quite the right word, but kind of that. Essentially, you know, God didn't want them adopting the practices of these other religions from these other nations. And that's why he didn't want them marrying people from those places. But, you know, they were already turning away from God and adopting some of these practices even before they all got conquered. So it's no surprise then that while they're exiled, you know, living away from their homeland, they end up marrying some of the people around them. And even further adopting those practices. But Ezra, you know, being a man of the law of Moses, probably, well, A, wants to know that this is happening so he can maybe do something about it moving forward, and B, is probably not going to be pleased. In fact, we'll read that he isn't when we continue in verse 3 here. "When I heard this, I tore my cloak and my shirt, pulled hair from my head and beard, and sat down utterly shocked. Then all who trembled at the words of the God of Israel came and sat with me because of this outrage committed by the returned exiles. And I sat there utterly appalled until the time of the evening sacrifice. At the time of the sacrifice, I stood up from where I had sat in mourning with my clothes torn. I fell to my knees and lifted my hands to the Lord my God. I prayed, 'Oh my God, I am utterly ashamed. I blush to lift up my face to you. For our sins are piled higher than our heads, and our guilt has reached to the heavens. From the days of our ancestors until now, we have been steeped in sin. That is why we and our kings and our priests have been at the mercy of the pagan kings of the land. We have been killed, captured, robbed, and disgraced, just as we are today. But now we have been given a brief moment of grace, for the Lord our God has allowed a few of us to survive as a remnant. He has given us security in this holy place. our God has brightened our eyes and granted us some relief from our slavery. For we were slaves, but in his unfailing love our God did not abandon us in our slavery. Instead, he caused the kings of Persia to treat us favorably. He revived us so we could rebuild the temple of our God and repair its ruins. He has given us a protective wall in Judah and Jerusalem. I'm gonna pause there for a bit. Like, I said earlier that it wasn't really surprising, or at least I think I said that, that at least I personally don't find it very surprising that the people had done these things, had married folks from other nations, especially because they had already been turning away from God before the exile. So, I'm like, okay, really? Ezra, you were utterly shocked? You might know God's law, but do you really know his people that well if you're that shocked? Like, come on, dude. Now, okay, appalled? Okay, because of how much that conflicts with God's laws. Sure. Shocked? I don't know. Anyway. So, yeah. He obviously doesn't like hearing that and is like, oh, well, great, what do we do? Starts praying to God, and he's, admitting the guilt of his people, and yet realizing that God has been gracious to them and thanking God for that, of course. Which, just quickly, I will note that a lot of times, I think, shoot, even myself included, we, even as Christians, are not always the best at admitting our own guilt like this. When we pray. Sometimes we're even better at admitting to other people than we are to God directly. But God is gracious anyway. Even to us today. If it doesn't seem like it because of all the, just straight up evil in the world, maybe try looking at your own life and things that God has done for you individually. But anyway, I'm not here to project this completely onto current day situations, because this was very much what was going on for God's people at that time. So anyway, and that's only partway through Ezra's prayer here. So he admits the guilt of his people, thanks God for his graciousness, and then we get to verse 10. And now, O our God, what can we say after all of this? For once again we have abandoned your commands. Your servants, the prophets, warned us when they said, the land you are entering to possess is totally defiled by the detestable practices of the people living there. From one end to the other, the land is filled with corruption. Don't let your daughters marry their sons. Don't take their daughters as wives for your sons. Don't ever promote the peace and prosperity of those nations. If you follow these instructions, you will be strong and will enjoy the good things the land produces, and you will leave this prosperity to your children forever. Now we are being punished because of our wickedness and our great guilt. but we have actually been punished far less than we deserve. For you, our God, have allowed some of us to survive as a remnant. But even so, we are again breaking your commands and intermarrying with people who do these detestable things. Won't your anger be enough to destroy us so that even this little remnant no longer survives? O Lord God of Israel, you are just. We come before you in our guilt as nothing but an escaped remnant, though in such a condition none of us can stand in your presence. Kind of an odd spot to end the chapter, but, I mean, I guess maybe that's the end of Ezra's prayer here. Pretty much just further talking about how guilty God's people are, including with this whole intermarriage thing, especially with this whole intermarriage thing. And yeah, there were definitely laws and commands from earlier about, not intermarrying like that. I don't know if I recall such lines as "don't ever promote the peace and prosperity of those nations." But that might have been said by different prophets at other times. That haven't been parts of the books of the Bible we've read thus far. In any case, it's that sentence almost seems a step too far, especially in the modern day. It's like, okay, really, I get not wanting to, be corrupted by these other people and their beliefs, but, like, I guess promoting peace and prosperity of other nations is different than just, yourself being peaceful with them and, like, not inciting conflict. Like, promoting peace and prosperity of the other nations pretty much is like, certainly in Ezra's eyes, I imagine that would almost seem like a stamp of approval on what those people are doing, which is definitely not what God's people should be promoting. But yeah, so, like, I guess my main thought out of all that is just saying that you don't agree with what other people do and other religions do. It doesn't necessarily mean you go out and actively incite conflict with them. But, yeah. They were, at least at this particular time in the Bible, very guilty of, God's people were very guilty of adopting the practices of other nations and religions, in large part because of marrying people from those beliefs in those nations. So it's understandable that Ezra goes on a little bit about that particular fact and the guilt of God's people therein, or thereof. Anyway. You could see this, I guess, as an act of Ezra, humbling himself in order to ask for God's continued favor. But I guess we'll see what else comes of that in the next chapter, but that's kind of all we got for Ezra chapter 9. Okay. One chapter down, one more to go, at least for what's planned today. I'll have to look into Nehemiah, see how many chapters there are here. You know what? Why don't I just do that now? 13 chapters. That's an odd number, which means I might want to get 3 chapters in some particular week or another. And I'm totally fine with that eventually happening, but let me not get ahead of myself here. But this is the last chapter of Ezra. So, we'll, I will just say it kind of continues more of the same or a very similar feel to chapter 9. But let's get to it here. All right, Ezra chapter 10. This is the last chapter of the book of Ezra. So, God's people had, started following the practices of other nations, even worshiping their gods and doing things aligned with that. That was a big part of, really the main reason why they got conquered by other kingdoms and exiled. But at this point, they were allowed to return to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. And this guy Ezra then kind of joined them after the fact, along with some more of God's people who returned with him. And he's real intent on trying to set the people right, aligning them with God, teaching them the law of God, and he comes to find that, they've still been following these other beliefs and marrying people who follow these other religions and are from these other nations, and that's been a contributing factor to them following these other beliefs. So he prayed to God about that, mostly just considering and admitting all their guilt, noting God's graciousness, or just grace in general, toward them despite that. And it didn't outright say it, but I would think there was a bit of an implied desire for God to continue being gracious towards them. But we'll see what else happens here in chapter 10. So here we go. While Ezra prayed and made this confession, the one about, God's people being sinful and marrying people from other nations and beliefs and whatnot, while Ezra prayed and made this confession, weeping and lying face down on the ground in front of the temple of God, a very large crowd of people from Israel, men, women, and children, gathered and wept bitterly with him. Then Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, a descendant of Elam, said to Ezra, "We have been unfaithful to our God, for we have married these pagan women of the land. But in spite of this, there is hope for Israel. Let us now make a covenant with our God to divorce our pagan wives and to send them away with their children. We will follow the advice given by you and by others who respect the commands of our God. Let it be done according to the law of God. Get up, for it is your duty to tell us how to proceed in setting things straight. We are behind you, so be strong and take action." Okay, so basically a bunch of people see Ezra like this. Shechaniah comes, and partially to comfort him, but also partially as all right, let's do something about this. He tells Ezra, all right, yes, things are bad right now, but we can at least start fixing this. We'll get these people out of our nation who believe these other things, and you're the guy who knows the Mosaic laws the best around here, so at that point it'll be up to you to set us on the right path. But here's our first step that we're going to take to try and set this right. And just, yeah, they are kind of like, I don't know if exiling is even quite the right word, but they're, moving other people out of where they're living. But it's not really anything more than that, so I guess maybe their thinking is, well, these women and their children can go back to where they came from and, hopefully carry on a decent life after that. But as our act of cleansing ourselves of this sin, of these other beliefs and rituals and our own ties to them, we're gonna kind of kick these people out. So, then we get to verse 5. So Ezra stood up and demanded that the leaders of the priests and the Levites and all the people of Israel swear that they would do as Shechaniah had said. And they all swore a solemn oath. Then Ezra left the front of the temple of God and went to the room of Jehohanan, son of Eliashib. He spent the night there without eating or drinking anything. He was still in mourning because of the unfaithfulness of the returned exiles. Then a proclamation was made throughout Judah and Jerusalem that all the exiles should come to Jerusalem. Those who failed to come within 3 days would, if the leaders and elders so decided, forfeit all their property and be expelled from the assembly of the exiles. Within 3 days, all the people of Judah and Benjamin had gathered in Jerusalem. This took place on December 19th, and all the people were sitting in the square before the temple of God. They were trembling both because of the seriousness of the matter and because it was raining. Then Ezra the priest stood and said to them, "You have committed a terrible sin. By marrying pagan women, you have increased Israel's guilt. So now confess your sin to the Lord, the God of your ancestors, and do what he demands. Separate yourselves from the people of the land and from these pagan women." Okay, so, I'm recording this on Christmas Day. December 19th is not too far removed from that. I'm just saying, not trying to tie this to Christmas or anything, but, just given the timing, I just thought that was an interesting, kind of funny little coincidence to note. But, anyway, tangent done. Alright, so essentially the people or at least the people who are there with Ezra all agree to do as Shechaniah said, but they need to spread the word a little bit to surrounding towns and people of God, to give them all time to get to Jerusalem so they can make sure this all happens according to plan. Now, in verse 6, there's a note. So the Hebrew, rather than saying he spent the night, says he went there, meaning to the room of Jehohanan, son of Eliashib. Hebrew just says he went there without eating or drinking anything. But it's translated as he spent the night, coming from a parallel text at First Esdras, which, again, you're not going to find in a typical Bible, but it was a writing that was up for consideration when deciding our current Bibles and what would be in them. And if you get one that says it has Apocrypha or a Deuterocanon or something along those lines, you might see First Esdras. In any case, another document describing the same events. Another writing, I should say, describing the same events. So, combining the understanding of the two, they went with saying he spent the night rather than just that he went to this place, to this room of Jehohanan, son of Eliashib. In any case, he was still not eating or drinking anything at that time because he was in mourning over the guilt of the people. So, any of the returned exiles who didn't agree to do what Shechaniah said, they were additionally going to be removed. Exiled, expelled is the word that they use here. So then the people all gather within 3 days. Apparently on December 19th. Hebrew says on the 20th day of the 9th month of the ancient Hebrew lunar calendar. This day was on December 19th, 458 BC. It says also see note on chapter 6, verse 15. So I guess they're kind of extrapolating it out from there to get to this. Because that definitely, obviously, gave a different date. But if, certain date was such and such day of month X on the lunar calendar, as long as there's a decent understanding of how the ancient Hebrew lunar calendar worked, you can probably figure things out from there. Anyway. And apparently it was raining. Probably a bit cold, given being December 19th, although I'm like, given where they would be, that might be, relatively cold, not necessarily as cold as it is around where I live right now. Only, a week later on the calendar for this particular year. Anyway. So they've gathered. Ezra is like, you are guilty in this intermarrying with women from other nations. You've made our people more guilty in general. So we've all come here to separate ourselves from this guilt and this sin. And actually, physically remove these other people who have these pagan beliefs. So, that happens, and then we get to verse 12. Then the whole assembly raised their voices and answered, "Yes, you are right. We must do as you say." Then they added, "This isn't something that can be done in a day or two, for many of us are involved in this extremely sinful affair. And this is the rainy season, so we cannot stay out here much longer. Let our leaders act on behalf of us all. Let everyone who has a pagan wife come at a scheduled time, accompanied by the leaders and judges of his city, so that the fierce anger of our God concerning this affair may be turned away from us." Only Jonathan, son of Asahel, and Jaziah, son of Tikvah, opposed this course of action, and they were supported by Meshullam and Shabbathai the Levite. So this was the plan they followed. Ezra selected leaders to represent their families, designating each of the representatives by name. On December 29th, the leaders sat down to investigate the matter. By March 27th, first day of the new year, they had finished dealing with all the men who had married pagan wives. So I'm realizing it's focused on the men marrying pagan wives, probably because the women who had married men from other nations were probably living in those other places with them. So it's not like it's intentionally, being like patriarchy focused and only worried about the men. There's the likely practical reason it's only focusing on the men, because the women they married came along with them. The women who married men from other nations wouldn't be with these people. They'd be living with the men they married. Anyway, so generally everybody who gathered there agreed to this idea, and the caveat was, all right, let's assign leaders, or have the designated leaders of our different areas handle this matter individually, so we're not standing out here cold and rainy and trying to take care of all this, because they would probably rush the process in that case. And now it says a couple of people were opposed to this. Whether they were opposed to, having the leaders go through with it individually, or maybe not individually so much, but separately for the people they led, whether they were opposing that or just the idea in general of, yeah. I'm not sure whether it was the method of doing this that they opposed, or just the sheer idea of, removing all these pagan wives and their children. But anyway, the vast majority agreed. So then these leaders got to work, got all the information they needed, it seems, and within about 3 months, they had, found all the men who had married pagan wives and exiled, for lack of a better word, those wives, and presumably any children of theirs, because that was mentioned earlier in the chapter as well, even though not directly within this discussion, I don't think. Note there where it mentions December 29th. Hebrews says on the first day of the 10th month of the ancient Hebrew lunar calendar. And then this says the first day of the first month. So that's the next year. Just essentially translator notes on, hey, here's how we got to this exact date that we're giving you. So yeah. They went ahead and did all that stuff, all that investigation and exiling, or whatever you want to call it. And we get a little more information, actually quite a bit more information on that as we continue with verse 18. But let me get a sip of water real quick here. Okay, so verse 18. These are the priests who had married pagan wives. Just the priests. From the family of Yeshua, son of Jehozadak, and his brothers, Maaseiah, Eleazar, Jarib, and Gedaliah. They vowed to divorce their wives, and they each acknowledged their guilt by offering a ram as a guilt offering. From the family of Immer, Hanani, and Zebediah. From the family of Harim, Maaseiah, Elijah, Shemaiah, Jehiel, and Uzziah. From the family of Pashur, Elionai, Maaseiah, Ishmael, Nethanel, Jozabad, and Elisah. Those are the priests. Now, these are the Levites who were guilty. Jozabad, Shimei, Kaliah, also called Kelita, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eleazar. This is the singer, singular, who was guilty, Eliashib. Gatekeepers who were guilty, Shallum, Telem, and Uri. And these are the other people of Israel who were guilty. From the family of Parosh, Ramiah, whatever, Isaiah, Malchijah, Mijamin, maybe? I don't know. Eleazar, Hashabiah, and Benaiah. From the family of Elam, Mattaniah, Zechariah, Jehiel, Abdi, Jeremoth, and Elijah. From the family of Zatu, Elionai, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Jeremoth, Zabad, and Aziza, or Ziza. Anyway, from the family of Bibai, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabai, and Athli. From the family of Bani, Meshullam, Maluk, Adiah, Jashub, Sheol, and Jeremoth. From the family of Pahath, Moab, Adnah, Kilal, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mattaniah, Bezalel, Binuai, and Manasseh. Maaseiah was there. Manasseh is there. Anyway, from the family of Harim, Eleazar, Ishijah, Malchijah, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Maluk, and Shemariah. From the family of Hashem, Mattanai, Mattata, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shimei. From the family of Bani, Maadai, Amram, Uel, Benaiah, Bedaiah, Keluhai, man, Vaniah, Miramoth, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Mattanai, and Jesu. Anyway, from the family of Binui, Shimei, Shelemiah, Nathan, Adiah, Machnadabai, Shashai, Sherai, Azarel, Shelemiah, Shemariah, Shalom, Amariah, and Joseph. From the family of Nebo, Jael, Mattithiah, Zabad, Zabina, I don't know, Jedi, Joel, and Benaiah. Each of these men had a pagan wife, and some even had children by these wives. So, yeah, literally just ends with a giant list of the men who had been guilty of this whole intermarriage thing. So, these were the men who then... I mean, it only specifically says that these, like, priests right here had vowed to divorce their wives. I thought that was part of the general agreement, though, so I think it's reasonable to conclude that all of these men listed here also divorced their pagan wives and sent them away. They might not all have offered guilt offerings like these priests did, though. So, that's the general gist of things. Otherwise, it's just a big long list of names of the men who were guilty of this. You know, in a lot of other situations, it kind of says how many in total. But I guess in a lot of those instances, it's not going through everybody by name who was included. It's just like, this man and his family, or something to that effect. Or even this clan who was led by this person. So if you wanted to take the time and count up all the men who were part of this, you could, I guess. But it's more than just a few. However, I mean, there were at least hundreds, if not thousands. I think I recall thousands at least, who were mentioned as, returning exiles. So, like, out of thousands, this isn't exactly a huge percentage. In any case, though, they still, all these men were guilty. Wives and children were removed. The notes are probably mostly going to be about the names and spellings or variations thereof. See, for Jehozadak here, Hebrew just says Jozadak. But that's considered a variant spelling. I mean, it's ancient Hebrew, very different language. There's some leeway there in the spelling. And those are pretty close anyway. Note here at Hashabiah. That's in parallel text at 1 Esdras 9:26. Hebrew reads Malchijah instead of Hashabiah. That's quite different, but there was also a Malchijah there. There might be two different men who went by the same name possibly, though, and this was like differentiating them. I don't know. Honestly, from our modern perspective, it's kind of like they're just names. Is it that big a deal? Not entirely. But for the people who do care and want historical accuracy, these translation notes are probably important. Now, the note here says that it says in the Greek version, Hebrew reads Jesu. Oh. So, the Hebrew might have implied that some of these men listed down here were part of the same family that's listed up here. Because, I mean, unless it was saying from the family of Jesu, I'm understanding that to be, because it says 37 to 38, so I'm kind of understanding that to be after Jesu was mentioned, the Hebrew just continued with Benai and Binuai. And anyway. Again, like, to us, they're kind of just names. Not that big a deal, really, as far as understanding what's going on in general. Note there at the end of verse 44. Could be read as, each of these men had a pagan wife, and they sent them away with their children. Meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. Okay. But I mean, yeah, sending these wives away with their children is, I mean, obviously implies that some had children by those wives because they were sending said children away with those wives. But yeah, anyway, that's okay. So there has been an attempt, at least, for all these returned exiles to get themselves right with God under the leadership of Ezra, primarily, I guess, but also in a way Shechaniah. But yeah, all kinds of men were guilty of this, not even just like the regular everyday guys. I mean, there were priests and Levites and, like, yeah. it was, even though it might not have been a large percentage of the overall group, it was still a notable problem because of how widespread it was amongst people of different ranks, especially like leadership and priests and people of that sort. That would have especially been a problem because it's at the very least setting a bad example, if not encouraging others to follow suit, which of course was against God's commands. Anyway, okay, so that's how the book of Ezra wraps up. Nehemiah comes after, and I think it kind of, continues this part of the story in a way. But we'll get to that next time, I guess. Okay. So, that does it for the Bible study that was planned. Turned out the main connection it really had to anything Christmas related is just that some of that happened on a day that was very close to Christmas. Okay. There's still quite a bit of time before the next ad break would hit. On its own, anyway. But I think I'm going to run it now before I move over to gameplay stuff, just to have that during the transition. So, Twitch folks, I'll see you in a bit. YouTube people, meanwhile, you all get to see my lovely movement of things and transition to other part of the stream and all that good stuff. Okay, let me start up the game. I will pause my background music. So then we got the game here. Also might want to change the stream category on Twitch. Okay. So I plan to go until maybe somewhere in the realm of like 8:30. Definitely no later than 9 o'clock, because my family is kind of expecting me to show up not too long after that. We're going to start off with a brunch thing around like 10:30 maybe. And then we're going to open up gifts and whatnot. But yeah. Okay, let me try and refamiliarize myself with the controls and what I'm doing here.
Through all that, away to the surface.
Okay, A is dash, X is attack, B is like special attack kind of stuff, I guess. It's been a while, so I kind of got to remind myself of the controls and whatnot. Yeah, cast, dash, attack. Special is Y, okay. Call, right trigger. Summon, left trigger. Huh. I don't know if I have all those abilities yet. Anyway. Okay.
Didn't hurt. Drop something.
Alright. Anywho. Okay. That's...
I live again, boyo.
I don't know if the bow's going to be especially effective, but I guess I'll give it a try at least. So anyway. Long story short, I'm probably going to play this until roughly the next ad break kicks in.
That looks like a Daedalus hammer.
Hello. Upgrade.
Enchantments.
Perfect shot. Your power shot is easier to execute and deals plus 150% damage. Hold X, then release when you see a brief flash for a stronger shot. Okay. Charge volley. Hold special for up to 250% base damage. Minimum range reduced. Oh, minimum range oh, yeah. Okay. Chain shot. Your attack hits up to 3 foes, dealing plus 15% base damage for each. Huh. Kind of thinking either the perfect shot or the chain shot. I don't know if they have to be lined up or anything like that for the chain shot, though. Let's go with the chain shot anyway, because that's probably easier to pull off than the perfect shot, and doesn't otherwise change how I attack.
Maybe right now. Thank you. That was for last time.
Examine.
Composed of such innumerable, ever-shifting, interlocking chambers, the underworld of Lord Hades all but guarantees the dead shall there remain until the end of time.
Okay. I only really looked at that because I was like, ooh, hey, glowy thing, after I finished the room. Proceed. Whoa. What? Where'd you come from? And even on Christmas Day, the trolls and spam bots are still out in full force. Okay, doesn't seem like there's anything in particular that I need to destroy that would be like spawning these guys. Nope, definitely not. Okay. Cool. Got 10 of those things, whatever they are. They're upgrade points, I know that much. There's a trident thingy there, an exclamation point there. I forget what that stuff means relative to what room I'm gonna get next. Let's go this way, I guess. And hope I don't regret it.
Numbskulls.
Dang. Oh, hello. No, that wasn't so bad. Ah, money. That's what that symbol is. Okay, well. I guess now I know for next time. I guess if I encounter a shop in the midst of my run or anything like that, the gold will help. But for the most part, that's probably not one of the better things I could get from a room. Okay. Not sure what these two symbols are. That looks kind of like a sun. Let's see what that is.
Pests. Lady Athena.
Athena. Okay.
The one called Nyx. She is your mother, as I understand? We Olympians rarely consort with the chthonic gods, though Nyx herself reached out to me about your plight, and I was spurred to act.
Spurred to act, eh? Okay. So, basically, I get some kind of upgrade. Our attack is stronger and can deflect. Cast damages foes in a small area and can deflect. Dash deals damage and can deflect. I think I'll take the attack being stronger. I haven't even been using the other stuff. I mean, yes, I've been dashing. Okay, so we got a key or a potion-looking thing. I would think the key is probably the better way to go, but I'm not sure. Wow, okay.
Brimstones.
Ouch. Okay.
A key to a weapon.
Ah, weapon keys. Okay. That makes sense, I guess. And more gold? Or perhaps a shop.
Fountain chamber I commissioned back at home.
Well, definitely more gold. Can't really go that way. Restore 10 health.
Hit the spot.
And it didn't cost me anything. How would I possibly get to that spot that's glowing there? Sure.
A place of calm and respite, whilst perhaps unimaginable in the underworld, occasionally is to be found, in fact.
Okay.
Not a moment too soon.
So I guess there's some sort of like a boss type thing there. That might be a shop. I have no clue what that's supposed to be, though. Looks like jewels of some sort. And I'm realizing there is not a whole lot of music going on in some of these rooms. Ooh, that was close. Whoa. A screen kind of flickered there. Was definitely not ready for nor expecting that.
Gemstones.
Yep, gemstones. That's literally exactly what they are. Okay. So we got the heart symbol thing there with another mini boss, I guess. That's a lightning bolt. I'm pretty sure that stands for Zeus, and I would probably get some sort of like upgrade power thing. Kind of feel like going this way though. Whoa, jeez. Oh, yay. Guys with bombs. Gotta love that. Okay, there's one down. Cool. Room is cleared.
That's what you get.
Except Aphrodite, okay.
Face. Until such time, however, this old means of keeping touch shall have to do. So you take care now,
Ooh, hello. Epic. Wave of Despair. After you take damage, damage foes around you and inflict weak. Interesting. Also, Passion Dash. Dash deals damage where you end up, inflicting weak. Special deals more damage and inflicts weak. Let's go with the Wave of Despair.
I feel fabulous.
I think that's rarer anyway. Another weapon key, perhaps? At least one?
More witches?
Sure are a bunch of enemies showing up here. Ow. Are those like kind of mines? I guess. All right.
This can unlock a weapon back at home.
Another weapon key. Alrighty. And more gold in the next room, it seems.
You're gone.
Well, that wasn't so bad. It's like they hardly even noticed me. Okay, room clear. More gold. Hooray. And I'm still at 38 out of 50 health. Not terrible. I've already gotten a fair bit of gold from my... Oh, shop. Hello.
Let's see what's in here.
Price of Midas. For a blood... how about no? So I could pay 45 gold for a random item offered from the Well of Charon. Or Prometheus Stone. Passive gain +1 that for your cast. Duration 6 encounters. Let's see what the fateful twist gives us.
I'll take it.
Discovered Braid of Atlas. Is there a way I can look into what that does? Braid of Atlas. Passive. Your cast deals plus 50% damage. Duration 6 encounters. Okay. Let's see what's over here.
Next.
More enemies have spawned. More enemies are spawning still. Okay. Room cleared. Power up.
Delicious.
Divine Strike. Up to level 2. Attack is stronger, right. So, an extra 16% attack damage. Or Wave of Despair to level 2. Let's upgrade Divine Strike, I guess. Okay. Seemingly nothing else to do in this room. That might be some sort of upgrade or healing, maybe. That seems like a shop type room. Maybe. I do have quite a bit of gold. Let's see what I get from here.
This far.
Oh, hello. Charon.
Fine day to you as well there, mate. Now let's have a look at your supply, shall we?
Oh, I forgot how quiet this game generally is. Maybe I should bump up the volume a couple of decibels within OBS, maybe. That's not going to affect what I hear, but maybe it'll affect what you all hear to some effect. So that would heal me for 20? By power up. What is this? Actually, before I do that.
Beyond the present chamber lies the outermost perimeter of Tartarus, promising terrifying dangers far beyond the Underworld Prince's reckoning.
Oh, really?
And I can reckon quite a bit. Should come in useful.
Slicing shot. Cast sends a blade rift hurtling ahead. Not sure what all that does. Dash creates a blade rift. After using Death Defiance, deal more damage that encounter. You know what? Let's do Blade Dash. And now I'm also going to buy a power up.
I can use this.
We'll maybe increase Blade Dash, because... or maybe a Divine Strike. I'm like, which one do I plan on using the most? Probably Divine Strike. Or just attacks in general, really. I've got money to buy this, why not? Full health, huzzah. And now we proceed. Oh, hello.
This is awkward.
Halt, Zagreus. Not one step further.
Megara.
haven't we had more than enough of each other by now? Besides, don't you have someplace else to be?
Your father sent me. All in all, I'd rather be on your bad side than his. Now you can turn back, like a good little man, or I can send you home the painful way. What'll it be?
I'll have to go with the painful way.
A man after my own heart.
Maybe I should have gone for the dash under the circumstances. Because I will probably be dashing a lot in a battle like this.
Here's my whip.
Ow.
How did that feel?
Whoa, hello. See, these blade rifts I'm leaving behind. Can actually be quite helpful because, like, they, you know,
Take this.
can then damage people passing through them. Doggone it. All these random enemies all over the place. I am so close to dying here. Of course, it spawns another enemy right where I was. Whoa, that was close. Whoa. Probably want to stay out of the circles there. Ah, death defied. Okay. Oof. Hey, I win. Barely.
Yes. The ancient blood.
Ancient blood, you say?
This. Ah, what I wouldn't give for, say, a healing flask of some sort.
Okay. Now what? Whoa.
How did you?
Don't mind me, Father.
None other than those in the trusted inner circle of Lord Hades are authorized to enter the intricate chambers connecting the vast regions of the underworld. But the prince decides to barge in anyway.
I barge where I please.
Yeah, I've even got volumes all the way up. Jeez. Yeah, restore 10 HP. Sure. And there's a shop. And I can sell? What would I sell? Why would I sell? I guess if I wanted a different set of stuff. I don't know.
Those.
Let me see. Replenish one use of Death Defiance. I don't have enough gold for that. Dang it. Tinge of Erebus. Gain 25 of, like, those upgrade points. Passive, you deal plus 50% damage striking undamaged foes. Duration 6 encounters. Nah, I think I'd rather gain the upgrade points. I mean, I could do both, I guess. Sure, why not? Okay. And we proceed, I guess.
Nowhere to go but up. And check. Now we're getting somewhere.
Escaped Tartarus. But now we're in Asphodel. That's not an enemy. Examine.
The once verdant plains of Asphodel are now engulfed in scintillating flame, having been flooded by the river Phlegethon, whose hideously superheated contents could bring death swiftly even to those resistant to most heat.
I'm only flame resistant, not flame proof. This place has definitely seen better days.
That seems like it should be something, but I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Embark.
Burn flingers.
Uh. Okay. Here's that enemy.
These.
Ouch. I gotta be really careful where they throw these things.
Sure.
Because that was quite a bit of damage I took from that room. Okay, so don't just walk through the lava. I'm like, where do I go? Apparently over here. More upgrade points or another weapon key. Decisions. Let me go for more upgrade points, I guess. Assuming I even live through this room.
Look who.
Ow. Yeah, I get hit with even one more potion and then I'm dead.
Always a pleasure.
That was close. Sorry, real quick. Heard my phone buzz, making sure it's not a text message from the fam. Nope. Okay. That kind of looks like it should be something. Like almost a work desk. So there's an upgrade thing. Oh, geez, I'm getting multiple options now. Well, I'm not gonna have much to spend at a shop. That's for sure. Let's go with this. Oh, jeez. Okay. Clearly there's another enemy around here somewhere.
Waymakers.
Sorry. Really had to sneeze there and definitely did not want to, like, get hit by something in the meantime. Ow. Oh, jeez. Doggone it. I knew there was a reason I was aiming in that direction. I knew there was an enemy there, but it, like, I guess was just out of my range.
All right then.
Welcome back. It's usually pretty quiet keeping watch over the pool of sticks back there, but it's sure been busy lately. Why, somebody else came through just earlier. You should have seen the look on my face when it wasn't you.
Glad to keep things interesting.
Oh, is that because it was, Meg? Renovate.
What's that there? Something
Oh,
fancy?
right, that's what the gemstones are for. Chambers may contain infernal trove. Treasure chests worth more faster you slay the foes guarding them. Huh. Keepsake collection regional. Underworld, switch keepsakes between underworld regions. Huh, interesting. Not. This sounds like the more interesting thing, but. Also, it seems like they're. Oh, that. Trim, whatever. Bed chambers. Contains faint traces of the past few. Okay. This certainly seems like the best
The ever-shifting
thing
chambers of the underworld
to
are
me.
A little livelier with this. What am I, composed entirely of gemstones?
Okay, so yeah, definitely want to get gemstones whenever I have a chance.
Olympus knows of him, bestowing on him all their worthless blessings here within my realm. Our realm. Explain to me how exactly this is possible, Nyx. Either your limitless power has considerably waned, or you are up to to something.
Do not question my power, Hades. Your son was bound to be discovered the closer he came to the surface. The Olympians are pleased to know they have a distant relative and bid him welcome to their mountain. That is all. Their influence is very limited.
Blood and darkness. Do not speak to me about their influence. I've seen their influence firsthand. You've made a foolish mistake.
You would speak to me of foolish mistakes. You cannot change the course that has been set. Try all you like.
Nix. Ah.
You'll get the hang of it out there, lad. For all our sparring practice, there's no teacher like the real thing. Now then, I have something for you.
Oh, really?
What, wait, you're giving me your codex? I can't accept something like this.
Please, I insist. I want your love of history to grow, not just your love of warfare. Besides, maybe you can finish out the rest of it.
I'm grateful.
Codex received. Left bumper to open. Learn more by having conversations with Achilles. Okay. Yeah, House of Hades, Tartarus, and Asphodel. So this is kind of like trying to think of what to call it. Almost like a glossary type thing that you fill out. Gemstones, Titan blood. And keys. Hand selected it for a hallowed place within Elysium somewhere. Huh. Anyway. Okay. All sorts of things here that I probably don't want to take the time to read all of right now. Anyway. Locked. Oh, hello. Is that Meg?
The prodigal son returns. Everyone's saying I went easy on you, Zag.
Don't worry, Meg. I eventually managed to get home the painful way after all.
Look, I have a reputation to uphold. You get past me again like that, you best go all the way. Now leave me be and don't think you're gonna be so lucky next we meet out there.
Codex updated. Yeah. I guess that is, in a way, meant to give you, you know, some of the mythology, the lore, the other stuff like that. Rest? Question mark? Okay. Reflect. Now, what could I possibly gain here? I have 77 of these points. So, Shadow Presence. Deal bonus attack and special damage when striking foes from behind. Restore a small amount of your health when you exit a chamber. That's a lot for another Death Defiance. Which, I mean, makes sense because you're gaining another life. Unlock talents. Reveal 2 new talents hidden inside the Mirror of Night. Oh, so maybe those keys aren't all quite what I thought they were.
Show me something new.
Ah, new stuff. Boiling Blood. Deal bonus attack and special damage to foes with that thing in them. Infernal Soul. Raise your supply of that for your cast. +1 per rank. Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, also, Greater Reflex. Perform +1 additional dash in quick succession. That could be helpful. And it seems like that's just a one-time thing that always applies afterwards. So I guess I will do... You know, let me do Shadow Presence and Boiling Blood. Okay.
There.
Just ever so slightly stronger. Oh, so those are the same keys that allow me to unlock the weapons. Yeah, what do I do with the Titan blood?
Just need to get from here across all that.
Is there anything in particular I would do with the... I don't know.
No keepsakes yet.
Oh, hello.
The courtyard of the House of Hades is kept neat and orderly, in contrast to the terrifying sprawl that lies beyond.
It's not that orderly, really.
Nice place you
Skelly.
got, boyo. Name Skelly has it going, but enough with the smart talk already. I'm here to do a job. So let me have it. Give me everything you got.
I don't remember having you on payroll, mate. Who's your supervisor?
Didn't we talk already?
Oh, I'm not about to wrap my sources, pal. Just try and beat it out of me.
If you insist.
Okay.
I'll hang on to that. Weak. Stuck me good. Gotta go.
Okay. I mean, I got some time left. Now, if I try to
Athena.
stop partway through, I have to abandon the attempt entirely, I guess. Unless I assume I'm gonna be able to, like, just pause it and sort of quick resume because, yay, Xbox stuff.
Why, you wield Coronax the Heartseeker. I never took you for an archer, though the power of that bow is undeniable. Use it wisely.
Divine, right. I never even used the special. What is the special with this? Oh, jeez. There are enemies here. Was not expecting enemies in this room. I should have been, because, like...
Each time the prince delves back into the underworld, its ever-shifting chambers realign to frustrate his attempts to bat.
Built to ensure no one gets out. We'll see about that.
Like, last run started off with enemies in that room, so... Why would I not expect them this time? Ow. Okay. Well,
Good enough to eat.
Divine Strike's getting upgraded, I guess. I had a feeling more enemies would spawn. Okay, so if they're in a straight line, I can hit multiple already.
Thank you. Where to?
Guess really overall the keys are better to get. At least for now. Easy enough. Plus one key.
Use this to
Okay.
unlock a weapon.
Let's do this. 'Cause I think that'll give me some other kind of like enhancement type thing. Goodbye to you. That's my special.
A centaur heart.
And what are the limitations on my special exactly? I don't know.
That ought to keep me
Oh,
going.
max life plus 75, plus 25, up to 75. Okay, cool, cool. More upgrade points. Once I clear this room. If and when I clear this room. Okay. 10 more of those points. So far, so good. Oh. I don't have an option for the next room.
Ready, lads?
Well, that didn't do much at all. Seriously, what exactly... Are there any limiting factors on the special move? Maybe not. Okay, there's one down. Kablam.
Had enough.
That wasn't so bad.
It's Uncle number 2. It's got to be. Then, in the name of Hades,
Uncle number 2.
I accept this message.
Poseidon.
Recognize your uncle, do you
Makes
not?
sense with the whole trident
Well,
thing.
catching up to do, but first things first. You get yourself out of that dour underworld. As for me, I'll see if I can stir things up a bit to cover your advance.
Tempest Flourish. Special deals more damage and knocks foes away. Dash damages foes in an area and knocks them away. Sunken Treasure, gain a random assortment of gemstones, darkness, obol, and healing. Huh. You know what? I think I'll go with the Tempest Flourish now that I know what the special is, and having it deal more damage and knock foes away seems helpful.
Looks like I caught a big one. The power of the sea should be of help.
Okay, next room.
Louts.
So far, this room ain't too bad. Ten more upgrade points. Nice. What is this? Trove Trial. Earn up to 100 gold, essentially. Oh boy.
I do not think so, boy.
Slay foes quickly.
That's what you get.
Oh jeez. So many bug mine things. One enemy left. Huzzah.
Enough.
Peace and quiet.
It did say up to, so I guess
Cheers, father.
the speed at which I defeated them earned me that much gold instead. It's not really a ton of gold. Maybe if I have, upwards of 300, I'll go to a shop type area. Oh, jeez.
Salt him riches now.
Survive for 45 seconds. Oof. Come on now.
Got to hold on.
Incompetence.
That's that.
Okay. I'll accept this.
My greetings, young nephew. And more importantly, my blessing and my strength be with you as you journey towards your rightful home.
Lightning Strike, level 2. Your attack emits chain lightning when you damage a foe. Dash causes a lightning bolt. After you dash, just before getting hit, a bolt strikes a nearby foe. I'd say lightning strike level. Although that's gonna replace what I currently have, right? Which is so basically my attack would no longer be able to deflect and might not deal as much damage. And that has to do with the special. I mean, I could take a dash augment, I guess.
Shocking.
Ooh, and there's a little shop thing here anyway. I don't really... Ooh. 13 gemstones. Could be nice, I guess, maybe?
Looks handy.
Gain +1 that. My cast. I mean, shoot, I've got enough gold for all of it, so why not?
That's a relief.
Next room, I'm not sure what that symbol is. But it seems I have no choice. I must go that way. I don't know why I thought that was an enemy. Oh. Maybe there is no battling here.
Hey, Prince.
Sisyphus.
Must look like I'm slacking off with the old boulder here, but I was just getting back on my feet. The Fury Sisters don't often leave me be. Where'd they go, anyway? And, what are you doing here?
Oh, you know, just out on a little stroll is all. Do me a favor, though. You see the Fury Sisters, let them know I was headed down the way I came from, will you?
Oh, I'll let them know, all right. I hear you loud and clear, Your Highness. I'll just go about my business now, and you take care.
Oh. Furtively offers a choice of benefits. Well, I've already kind of healed. Let's go with darkness. 55. Dang.
Cheers, mate.
Okay. Interesting. Now, am I having that conversation because of my previous interaction with Meg, or what? Anyway. Okay. This way.
You can do this.
More brimstones.
And more enemies spawning in, of course.
No.
Okay, it took a little bit of damage there, but I suppose that's alright. Choose one. Twin shot. Your attack fires 2 shots side by side, but has reduced range. Your special fires 4 more shots. Charge volley. Hold special for up to 250% base damage. Minimum range reduced. I think I'll actually just add 4 shots to it.
Drawn tight.
Okay, so I could gain whatever that is, or more keys. I think I'm gonna go with keys. Sorry, also just trying to keep an eye on the time. Okay. Oh, those guys that love to lay out the mines and stuff. Or at least, they're basically mines. Just in, like, insect form. Okay. Cleared that room, got another key. Probably not much I'm going to be able to get from the shop.
I can use.
Although I can gain more gemstones. Sure. I don't know if I really need that. I also don't really need to heal much, though. So, you know what? Sure. Power up. Sure, especially because that's probably not going to do much for me.
Delicious.
So, Divine Strike dealing more damage. Special could deal more damage. Or more damage from the lightning bolt caused by my dash. Let's go with Tempest Flourish level 2. Yeah. Anywho, looks like I'm in for a boss. Oh, hey.
Ever stubborn?
Meg again.
Maybe my whip might make you reconsider whatever it is that you're attempting here.
Your whip's not been all that persuasive in the past.
Maybe persistence will pay off for both of us. Come then.
Ow.
You've got a lot of nerve.
Ow. Jeez. Definitely seems like I'm doing worse than last time I tried this battle.
You want a taste of this?
Jeez. I'm practically walking myself into some of these attacks. Ow. Oh, jeez, right. This attack. Fun.
Stand still for me.
Yeah, I'd rather not stand still, thank you. Especially not when you're whipping up attacks like that. Haha! Victory! Again.
I did it.
I am very low on health, though. That Death Defiance is going to come in pretty soon, I imagine. Just checking my phone real quick. And almost lost my grip on it as I tried to turn the screen off and whatnot.
A moment, Father.
Here's to a pleasant voyage up in Asphodel.
That's locked. Those are both locked. Oh. Maybe once I heal, then it'll... Yeah, okay. Not sure I plan to sell much. Doubt I can buy much, though. Ooh, restore up to 24 health. Sure. Yeah.
Should help keep me going.
That's probably the best thing I could get right now. Oh, hello.
The path from Tartarus is finally there. Far above, the heat from Phlegethon, the river of flame, is faintly felt already, even as its dangers lie in wait.
Okay.
Lovely. Broke out of Tartarus.
Once again, made it to the second area here.
Love that sulfur smell.
Within the suffocating heat of Asphodel reside the vast majority of those who lived upon the earth and died. There they persist until the end of time.
Or until I crush their bones to dust.
Okay. Looks like a health-related perk. Oh, jeez. Not sure I like the idea of having so many enemies around me. Special attack. All the special attack. Because, you know, that also moves them away from me. Okay. And more enemies still. Jeez. Those projectile enemies were really causing me some problems. Okay. Codex updated? Centaur Heart, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Ooh. More max health, okay. I have no clue what this is, so I'm gonna see.
Onward.
Because I know the other thing's just gonna be, like, gold.
Bone rakers.
Okay.
Gust of air.
Cool, cool. Just more enemy information? Okay.
This mark, almost like a bat wing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Hey, boss.
Hermes, okay.
Hermes, at your service. Pleasure. You are the talk of Olympus. Normally I wouldn't get mixed up, but for you, I'll be making an exception. Now, come on, we've both got places to be.
Side hustle. Each time you enter a chamber, gain a bit of wealth. Swift flourish. Your special is faster. Greater evasion. Whenever you are hit, you have a chance to dodge automatically. Huh. I mean, they all sound kind of good. Let's go with the evasion. You know, the dodge chance. Why not?
Now let's go.
And a little info about Hermes there. Alright, where do I go from here? I see Poseidon and somebody else there? Why am I blanking on... Anyway. Seems like some kind of boost, so why not? Where are the enemies? I'm very much expecting enemies to be here somewhere. Oh.
They're making me choose.
Huh. Alright.
I trusted I could count on you.
Athena, right, that's who that is. Failing shot. Cast damages foes in a small area and can deflect. Blinding flash. Your abilities that can deflect also make foes exposed. Bonus backstab damage, okay. Sure footing, resist damage from traps. You know, let's do this so I actually have some incentive to use my cast.
What you have just done is tantamount to spitting in my face. Let me remind you then, the ocean can spit back.
Sorry, Uncle Poseidon.
This is where the enemies come into play, okay. Jeez, these guys are leaping around a lot. And that looks like it's going to be very annoying. What the heck? Dude! That wave in particular is quite a problem. About to ask if we're done now, but no! Holy cow! And this wave just won't go away. Holy cow, that looked like... Good grief.
With me next time, nephew.
I don't know if it really would have been any better had I chosen his thing instead of Athena's.
Shade spirits of the dead mill constantly within the house, complaining of their woes and seeking audience from any who would listen.
I listen. Hey, where's Hypnos?
Where is Hypnos?
Too bad, boy.
Here, boy. Just as long as one of your three heads enjoys these pets. Guess what, boy? Made it all the way to Asphodel last time. I fully understand how come you never liked it there. Now to trek on back, I guess. Take care.
Despite the Underworld Prince's optimism, his old companion Cerberus, the multi-headed hound, maintains a somewhat sulky attitude for now.
Alright, so I think after this round of talking and stuff, I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream there. Definitely don't plan to start another run.
Out there. A globule of ancient blood which formed after I fought with Megara. Is this really the Titan's blood I found?
As far as I know, yes, lad, that it is. Though whose exactly, I'm not so sure. You'd best hang on to it and keep it safe. Your weapons, they shall thirst for it and drink it up. Not yet, perhaps, but soon.
Well, I wasn't about to drink it.
What could I renovate here? Fated list of minor prophecies. Make the fate's prophecies come to pass and be rewarded. An object that unlocks something you could not do without it. Okay. Sure.
Let's go with this one then. The fated list of minor prophecies. That sounds somewhat exciting, I suppose.
You requisition that useless bit of parchment.
Yeah, it seems like the work orders are really the main thing to do. The rest just seems like it's more cosmetic. I don't know.
Father, what happened to the lounge? The only place for anyone to have a little fun around here, and you seal it shut.
Oh, I had little choice about that, boy. You see, after you fled the first time, Cerberus, why, he was very much upset. Utterly tore the place to shreds. It's now under repair. All thanks to you.
You're really blaming me for not minding the dog while I was out and while you all were here.
I lay the blame entirely upon you, yes. Who else? It's fortunate that Cerberus has calmed himself since then. Come to his senses, I should say. May you yet come to yours.
Wonder where Nyx went.
Jeez, no Nyx, no Hypnos.
What are your sisters up to these days, Mike? I've not seen them around.
We're stretched a little thin, as you can see. Some kind of war up there meant lots of business here. I'm left to hold the line and deal with you.
Okay.
Hey, that must be the fated list.
The fated list, eh? Review.
The fated list of minor prophecies.
Just minor prophecies, okay. Son of the god of the dead shall someday break free from the realm in which he was born. So I assume that's like if I clear a full run or something, it'll reward me with 1,000 darkness points or whatever those are. Son of the god of the dead shall someday meet some of the rulers of Olympus. Ah, okay. I have no clue what those things are. I have met seemingly all but 2 of those required. Ares, Aphrodite, Athena, Poseidon, and Zeus. Who else would be included in that, I wonder? Sunday meet the rulers of the underworld. Hades, Nyx, Charon, Hypnos. Okay, have more of those still to meet. Shall someday earn various boons of... Oh, geez. Okay. So that's all for getting the different... Dang. Okay. I have quite a number of those yet to get. Someday acquire each of the ancient weapons once used to slay the Titans. Okay. Stygian Blade. Someday acquire each of the Daedalus enhancements for Stygius. Heart-seeking bow. Chthonic knowledge. Shall someday reveal a portion of the Underworld Codex. Okay. So yeah, these are just like kind of side missions that you sort of work towards while playing the game. Interesting. Alright, I have 137 points. So let's see here. So boiling blood, is it right? Extra damage. I mean, shoot, 20, 60, 90. I've got enough to upgrade at least each of these once. Upgrade each at least once. More damage from behind. Or, you know what? No. Oh, and that's maxed out now. Okay, can only get up to 3...
Alright.
Health returned per room.
How's it going?
Been waiting over here.
I don't have enough chthonic keys.
But I thought it said I had enough.
Empty for now.
Oh, I have to use that stuff to get the keepsakes. Okay. Didn't realize that was how that worked.
You're getting pretty strong, I'll give you that, boyo. Strong enough to smack a guy like me right up against the wall and I'd go straight to pieces. Boom! You just remember, when you're duking it out, the walls are your friend.
Smack guys against walls. Sound advice as ever, mate.
Okay. And that, I think, is going to have to do it for now. I'm even getting a text message, probably from my family, saying, hey, when are you coming? Or something like that. Progress was saved just a minute ago. Probably when I entered that room. So we're good. Alrighty. That is probably gonna have to do it. Oh, that's not from my family. Oh well. I'll respond to that later then. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna do it for today's stream. Once again, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. I will not be raiding anybody on Twitch because I should probably get myself ready to go visit my family. So, next week, I think I'll pretty much, well, Thursday's live stream was probably going to be earlier in the day than normal because I won't be working. But otherwise, I think next week's going to be pretty normal. And then I'll have an announcement that'll affect things moving forward from there. But, so Thursday at some point or another, I'll be continuing Borderlands. No. Thursday's usually the Bible study. So, I'll keep that consistent as well. So, a week from today, I guess, will be Bible study, kicking off the book of Nehemiah. And then, honestly, the majority of my additional game stuff, side questing, whatever you want to call it, will probably be focused on leveling up in Kingdom Hearts 3. So then maybe I'm a little bit better prepared for the rest of the Limit Cut episode. Jeez, can't talk right now. And then next Friday, I'll be continuing Borderlands 4 for at least a couple hours. So yeah, that's the plan for next week. I realize, yes, it'll be like New Year's Day and the day after. So I understand if y'all are busy with other things. But hopefully I will see you sometime soon-ish for another live stream. If not, feel free to check out YouTube videos and archived streams and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I got for you. So I guess until the next time I see you, stay cool, everybody.